Hey there, my name is Samay, and I am doing my marketing insight project report regarding the discount strategies and profitability. This presentation explores how discounts impact product returns, and profitability in retail. And this was using the Superstore data set that was provided a couple weeks ago. The primary objective of this project is to explore how discount strategies influence both product returns and profitability across various product categories and regions. So the overview is the data set that was provided, but the key columns that I wanted to focus on was discount, discount tier, profit, region, sales, and the returned section. The focus was to clean and reorganize these columns to examine the effects that discounts have on this sort of data. So my main um, variable, my focal variable, was the profit tied along with the sales and also the region. I analyzed the distribution of profit and sales using histograms and descriptive statistics. Profit values were widely dispersed, showing that not all sales were equally profitable, right? There was a lot of transactions on this data set, but not everything was equally profitable. There was a lot of margins that were very big, as you guys can see here. And the summary statistics reveal that the average mean, as shown below, for the profit was 29, and the median was $9. The standard deviation though jumps to 234. If we round it, would be 234 with 25 cents, indicating that there is a right skewed distribution with a few high profit transactions pulling the average upward. Um, and the standard deviation of profit suggesting that there is a substantial variability in profit outcomes. Similarly, for sales, which was the other portion of this that I wanted to do the mean, median, and standard deviation for, the average transaction value was $230, with the median for only $55. Again, highlighting a skewed distribution. The sales data also exhibits high variability, with a standard deviation of $623, pointing to a very significant inconsistent um, amount of dollar value in the transaction sizes. These figures suggest that while some transactions are highly lucrative, the overall majority are more modest, and overall profit and sales performance are highly variable. Moving forward, I want to provide the visual. I want to provide and say the visualization tools that I use was histograms and box plots for the profit and sales distributions. I kind of switched the interpretations that I previously had from the proposal, but I mainly focused on using the bar charts and the scatter plots. But I can explain furthermore. So first, I ran a linear regression using sales and regions to see how they affect profit. I also tested if the effect of sales on profit changes by region, which it totally does, as we can see here in the image shown below. This helped me find cases where some regions had high sales but low profit, possibly because of the big discounts or a lot of returns that were occurring in those regions. It showed that regions and sales work together to impact the profit, right? And that each region might need its own pricing strategy, right? Because not every region was reacting the same. So that helps me come to my analysis later on. Um, each point represents a region with its position indicating that the total sales in the x-axis and the total profit in the y-axis. While the size of the point reflects the profit magnitude, the trend line shows that an expected linear relationship between the sales and the profit deviate from this line in the various degrees. The west region, which you can see on the Top right outperforms the expectations with the highest sales and profit sitting above the line and indicating that there's a strong return on investment. The East also performs well, closely following the trend, as contrast to the other two, which is the South and the Central regions that underperform, especially the Central one because it has high sales but noticeably no lower profit, falling below the trend line, and this gap highlights the inefficient revenue conversion in those regions, suggesting that there needs to be an improvement in the pricing, as well as the product mix might need to be changed, or maybe just the discounting strategies needs to a change to boost the return on the actual investment. Moving forward, uh, this approach helped me uncover hidden dynamics, like regions with strong revenue but weak return on investment, possibly caused by high discounting or frequent returns. These insights provided me with a clearer picture of how geography and sales strategy work together to shape the profitability outcome, and where the business can make smarter region specific improvements. And that's kind of what I wanted to implement. With the difference from my initial proposal to now was that I wanted to implement the region specific improvements that I believe should happen. This suggests that regional strategy matters, very much matters, especially when high sales don't always mean high profitability. So the goal was to understand the ROI across the regions and discounts that were being implemented. For the first visualization, I understood that deeper discounts don't always necessarily mean better outcome. This is one factor to pay attention to as we move forward. The trend is clear in this graph. The higher the discount, the higher discounts correspond to lower average profits. So this pattern strongly suggests that moderate discounting, as we can see, especially under 10%, can be effective and profitable, whereas deep discounts above 25% severely undermine profitability. These insights support the recommendation to limit high discounting unless paired with strategic conditions that preserve margins. So, if there is no data supporting that, then I believe that there has to be a reduction in this, right? Um, there has to be a limit on the high discounting unless there is some data that's being proven. As you can see here in this bar graph that I created on the initial proposal, I wanted to use that to further explain my analysis in today's report. For this next one, we have a comparison with the return rate by the discount tier. So, as we see, return rates rise with higher discounts. Large discounts reduce profit margins. So, return rates do not increase with higher discounts as might be expected. The 0.01 to 10% tier has the highest return rate, while the 26% plus tier shows the lowest return rate. This suggests that the higher discounts are not driving higher product returns. Another factor suggests product type or customer behavior may be more influential in determining return the likelihood of returning something. As we know, maybe the discounts may harm profit, but they don't always appear to worsen with the return rates. Moving forward, this next graph that I created uh, talks about the profit versus the discount, and this was for all transactions that was provided in the data set. High discounts are generally associated with lower or negative profits, um, but uh, but as shown as the downward sloping trend line, this as the discount increase, the profit tends to decrease, with the regression equation suggesting an average loss of approximately $249 in profit for every 1% increase in discount. However, the lower rate of this indicates that discount alone explains only a small portion of the variation in profit. highlighting the influence of other factors such as product category or region. Notably, transactions with discounts above 20% are rarely profitable and often result in losses, reinforcing the conclusion that high discounts are genuinely detrimental to profitability. And this suggests that the importance of implementing more strategic and target discount approaches rather than relying on broad discount increases should be a focus on this based off of this profit versus discount transaction comparison. Okay, so speaking more about this regional uh, experiment that I wanted to improve and kind of focus on for this final report to help me reach that final recommendation tactic. Um, each point's position reflects its region. As you can see here, we have 4 points. Um, the West region stands out with the highest profit and sales, highlighting it as the most efficient in converting revenue into profit, which is what I was kind of seeking for the most. The East region also performs well, following closely behind it in both the metrics, but the other two, as we see, show much lower profit despite moderate to high sales, especially for the Central region, which has nearly 500,000 in sales, but one of the smallest profit values. These disparities emphasize that not all revenue is equally valuable, and that's something that someone that may not know this or may be new to something like this is very vital information. So it's important to emphasize and remind them that not all revenue is equally valuable, and the regions differ significantly in the return on investment, which to me is very important. And this means underperforming areas like the central region may require a revised discount strategy or implementation, maybe even an improved operational efficiency to enhance the profitability. So, more insights regarding this was that the central had the lowest return on investment, as previously indicated, uh, and I just wanted to speak more about how the west and east regions showed strong return on investment, and that not all sales are equally valuable, uh, and regional strategies do really matter. So, with that being said, I wanted to come to this tactical recommendation. So, what I would do, I would implement a tiered discount cap per region or by a region, limiting discounts above 10% in the central region unless tied to lower return product categories or bundled with something with a high margin item. Additionally, I would like to prioritize personalized promotions in the West and East regions where the return on investment is much higher and very strong. And I would also like to use the targeted campaigns to drive higher quality sales. Predicted effect on outcome variable, which is profit. I would like to restrict excessive discounting in underperforming regions and leverage target efforts in higher regions for the ROI. This strategy is expected to improve overall profit margins with the 12%. It will also reduce the profit erosion caused by the other factors in the discounting and low efficiency areas. Coming to final conclusions, I would like to just do these 3 points right here that I have written down. Um, Discounts don't always boost sales, but discounts boost sales but hurt profitability. As previously stated throughout this and shown throughout this analysis and report, there could be high sales, there could be really high revenue, but if the profit is not there, then I believe that there's a lot of work being done for a small margin, a small cut, right? I would also conclude that the returns have less impact than expected. Um, Sometimes they may see that, or people may believe that businesses have high returns and the impact is a lot more. But I believe if you have high sales and your profits and your return on the investment is very low, then I would not really prioritize the returns as a bigger issue than the ROI, right? And this analysis shows that while discounts can drive sales, they often hurt the profitability. Overall, this project helped me understand the trade offs between sales, profit, and regional efficiency. And it also reinforced the importance of using data to target low return categories and prioritize regions that yield stronger profitability, which is something that I implemented into this final report that I thought was very important. The region, right, and which region really was outstanding the others. Uh, I would also say that future promotions should focus on sustainable profit, not just driving more revenue, which was also something that I feel like I learned throughout this report and this analysis of the data that was provided for the superstore. Lastly, I wanted to provide a personal takeaway. I believe this project enhanced my understanding of profit sales and the discount balance. It also reinforced my interest in data driven business strategy because there are many different ways we can interpret data, but I strongly believe that um, finding the best interpretation may lead you to the most successful direction. Why? Because if we analyze data in many different perspectives, we may reach a different answer, but the more reasoning behind it, and the more you stick to a mission statement, or I believe just the key focus and target market for a business, the more likely you will become successful. And so I just strongly feel like my personal takeaway from this was that I understood the profit and the sales and how discounts may just increase sales, but profits aren't increasing. So it might just be an issue of conflict, and especially for this data, there might just be more focus on certain regions. But I feel like this just reinforced my interest in data-driven business, and just kind of interpreting and analyzing and really valuing certain data more than others. Just as like I feel many of my other colleagues might interpret the data in their own way, or have a completely different perspective on the idea of what the data means to them, you know. So I really appreciate everything that Dr. Moore has done for us up until this moment. I just would like to say thank you for everything, and I really appreciate you providing all of this guidance, as well as the guidelines and instructions that were very clear for this project, this report, and just the entire term. Thank you.